I have some points that I brought, areas that we can look at, just to evaluate our sincerity, our authenticity in joining. And especially in light of the goal of Krishna consciousness, which is, what is the ultimate goal of Krishna consciousness? Now making it more clear. Go back to Godhead. Krishna prema, love of God.
Always remember Krishna and never forget him.
Always remember Krishna, never forget him.
Eternal service to Krishna.
Eternal service to Krishna. So this is a whole data bundle. It's together. There's love of Krishna, then there's service to Krishna. Then back home, back to Godhead is either back to Goloka or even by your Krishna prema, your consciousness, you are back home to Godhead, even in this life. Even in Pretoria, one can be back home, back to Godhead, when Krishna is now the object of their affection. So, point number one, we want to assess our motivation. You can write that. Why am I attracted to this path? What initially drew me to this community? You can know, was it the philosophy? I'm looking for knowledge. I like this, what they're saying. Is it the culture? I like dhotis and kurtas. I like saris. Or I'm a Hindu. Or I'm attracted to Eastern culture. Maybe the people that you met. Maybe it's the music. Or maybe you needed somewhere to be disciplined. You like the discipline. Like I remember, and it's wild now when I think about it. When the devotees, I remember Shiva David Prabhu, he mentioned that he was a brahmachari for 7 years. He said, I've been celibate for 7 years. I was a student on campus. And that just blew my fuse. Like, what? Why? But then, when I went back to campus, I was thinking, because I know my mind and I know the minds of my friends. And in youth and at that period, there's a prime preoccupation is how to get sex. And here's this man, he's healthy, he's intelligent, he says he's been celibate for 7 years. Now the maths is starting to ring in my head, like, what does he have that he can forgo this? He must have something better than sex. This was my estimation. And in some greed, to get over this one hook that's just being dangled every time, I wanted to find out what he got. So yes, it may be that you want to be disciplined in some area and you found that the devotees can help. Okay. Am I seeking spiritual truth or some emotional comfort? I don't know if we get the difference between these two. Just the truth so that I can apply, or I want peace. I want to feel together. And spirituality sometimes is seen like that. Just, I don't want to be bothered. I want to be peaceful. I want to have control of my mind. Or am I looking to serve God, or do I want God to serve my desires? You can note that all of this is just an assessment. Don't feel already sort of persecuted by it. And Krishna notes the bulk of us, and he says this is pious, come to him, come to devotional service, because we have our desires that we try to fulfill. And Prabhupada applauds that if we're coming to Krishna to fulfill those desires. So then we can look at it over time. Is that changing? Am I staying in the space where I'm trying to get Krishna to be my servant, or am I moving towards trying to serve Krishna? Then we want to see if our goals are aligning with what the institution is offering. are maybe just interested in making more money. This would be nice to see. Who wants to make more money? Dear devotees. Krishna is listening. If you don't raise your hand, don't blame him later. I'll ask one more time. Who wants to make more money? Yes, the truth has come out. Even Jayananda wants to make more money. So, this is not a fault that we want to be materially successful. We're in the material world. However, when we come here, do we find an emphasis on becoming materially successful and making more money in the classes that we hear, in the books that we read? No. So there again now, I may have these desires, my goals, if they're not aligning with what's being taught. How do I reconcile that? So that means there must be some active consultation. Hey, I came here to make this one. And here people are telling me, slow down there, or whatever they may be saying. You know, we have to be clear. How do I feel about the idea of surrender? The idea of service? Am I willing to make the Lord the center of my life, not just a part of it? So Prabhupada was joking with the devotees. They were chanting japa. He chanted, finished the beat, took the beat back and put it inside. Now I can do any damn thing I want. And we feel like that. Yeah, I'm done now. Now I can get on with my life. We say like that, real life. When we again say, no, material life is not our life. It's not our real life. We're spiritual beings having a material experience. Quote it.
Spiritual beings having a material experience.
Yes, it rolls off the tongue very nicely. We're spiritual beings having a material experience. Sounds nice. It's a quotable. But am I living like I'm a spiritual being, just having some material experience? Or I think the material experience is my real life, and then I've got some time because I'm a Hare Krishna that I must. And I promised the Guru in 1996, that I will do this. So we have to check where our heart is. Next part is self-honesty. Am I honest about my current habits, my attachments? And am I honestly looking at the contradictions in my words and in my behavior? Can I acknowledge my own ego and pride without being defensive? Students come to teachers and they say, I want to learn this or the other. And then when the teacher wants to teach, then they want to fight, argue. Want to help the teacher how to become a teacher. And you go to the doctor, you prescribe some medicine, and then you want to tell the doctor, hey, no, me, I don't take 3 times daily. Yeah, I only have time in the evening to take medication. So this 3 times daily, will that work? No. And we are puffed up. It's such a sad thing that our ego is. It's really like a big stumbling block. Srila Bhakti Swami Maharaj wrote a book, The Beggar. I think it's the first one or the second one, where he speaks from the position of the false ego. That book is so difficult to read when you pick it up, because there's Maharaj, much, such an effulgent, dynamic, wonderful, pure devotee. But he's speaking in this language where it's just like, what is this? Who are you? But for our benefit, that we can understand that although we say we want, but we actually, no, we don't really want. We have ideas of being associated with this movement, what it's good for. We have ideas how far the teacher can help me. Otherwise, I've got the other things figured out. I mean, I graduated university. Some of these sadhus are dropouts. Yeah. We wonder, oh, what can he teach me? So, am I open to being corrected? Am I open to being guided and even challenged? Number 4. Now this is the community, ISKCON. We have to check, is this the right Sangha for me? If we already know what we want. Because if also we haven't heard enough, we may not even know what we want. And we cannot recognize if we're getting it or not. Do I feel spiritually nourished by the devotees I've met? Because sometimes you are with devotees. But you can be more material conscious than when you think you're with non-devotees. But at least we are devotees together in Maya together. Yeah? Some association of devotees. Then it feels better. I'm not just going deviant alone. I'm with a fellow devotee. Hare Krishna. Do I respect the leadership and find their example inspiring? Bhagavatam says, don't become a leader, don't become a father, don't become a guru, don't become a teacher. If you cannot liberate your dependence from the cycle of birth and death. So in ISKCON now, there are many committees, many ministries, many departments, many posts. Because we don't have so many people, we are recruiting, we are looking for. And so we become leaders, authorities. But are we reflecting the values of this movement? Are we inspiring faith in those who encounter us in leadership roles? Or are we crushing the faith of devotees? Am I joining to find belonging, or am I joining to grow spiritually? And can both of these coexist in this Sangha? So we check. What do we want? Last 3, commitments. What am I willing to give? See, love is giving. Last is taking. Love is giving. Giving and giving until Krishna says, I cannot even repay you for what you have done for me. That the love that you're giving, the service that you're giving. That just by your service to me, even if I had a lifetime of Brahma, I cannot repay you. This is the gold standard. That Krishna becomes defeated by love. And he tells the gopis, I cannot repay you for your love. Let the glory of your love be your payment. So that is the realm of giving. This is what we are approaching. Prabhupada has created this movement to help us get into this giving. This is devotional service. Last means we are always looking, what can I get out of this situation? And currently our movement, because it has grown so big, we have an imbalance between those who have come to give service and those who have come to take from this movement. Therefore, it becomes even a burden for some sincere souls who are trying to offer service, because it's the same devotees doing the service again and again and again, until what is liberating becomes like, what did I do signing up for this? We have the center of what's called devotees get right. So yes, commitment. What sacrifices am I ready to make in terms of time? What habits I want to give up? Relationships I want to establish for my spiritual progress? Am I willing to stick around during difficult phases? Not just the euphoric highs. Yeah, I'm there for the kirtan and prasadama. Ezinye angizingeni. Can I commit to practices like chanting, reading, and associating regularly, even though imperfectly? Because it's in what we do that we communicate who we are and what our values are. We can profess many things, but what we do reflects actually our commitment and who we are. So these basic tenets of hearing and chanting and serving with devotees are the key for actual spiritual advancement, if you are going to go towards Krishna prema. But since we are assessing ourselves, maybe that's not our goal, so don't worry about this part. However, every action has a reaction. So if I will come into the spiritual association simply just to exploit, to take, to wallow away time, then it's dangerous. You may disturb saintly persons, and saintly persons are very dear to Krishna. And we don't want to put ourselves in that dangerous position where we can offend devotees, therefore offend the Supreme Lord, by not understanding where we are and not learning how to live and act as Vaishnavas, devotees. Intention. Is my desire genuine or transactional? I think we've belabored that one. Would I continue even if no one praised or recognized me? Am I secretly bargaining with Krishna? If I serve you, Krishna, then you will do this and that for me. Krishna is your friend, your father, your mother, your everything. So this bargaining with Krishna, talking to Krishna, that is natural in any relationship. But after some time, we should know who Krishna is, what he's capable of. That we come to trust him and know him, that we are not now in business with Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj said like that, after Lord Nishingadev had killed Hiranyakashipu, and the demigods couldn't pacify Lord Nishingadev, they were afraid of him. And they went to Lakshmi Devi, hey, this is your husband, please calm him down. She's like, hey, I don't know this husband. I don't want to risk it. And then Brahmaji said, hey, Prahlad, look, he's angry because of your father. He came to save you, so you go and pacify him. Supreme anger. You've seen Lord Nishingadev, very fearsome. At that time, he's bloodied up with all the blood of the demons. He was just tearing apart. He's hissing. Prahlad Maharaj, directly to the Lord. And the Lord is charmed by how this young boy has no fear, only love for him. And he wants to give him blessings. Prahlad, is, brushing his head, sitting on his lap. What do you want? What benedictions can I give you? And Prahlad Maharaj said, my dear Lord, I am not worshipping you to get anything from you. Otherwise, I would not be considered a devotee, but a businessman, and that I'm not. So we can see when love has evolved, that then it's not for everything I have to do, I have to go to Krishna to check what I'll get. Instead, we simply want to serve Krishna for his pleasure. Last one is our long-term vision. What kind of person do I want to become? So there we can check, if I continue on this path sincerely, what kind of consciousness will I develop? Now, how will you know? That we must study the pure devotees in the scriptures. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of so many devotees who demonstrate the consciousness of exalted spiritual life, of love, of dedication. When we see how they react to the different tests of life, challenges, then we become attracted. Srila Prabhupada, how old was his body when he left India? 1969. He is living in Vrindavan, translating, writing, publishing, distributing this back to Godhead. He's struggling in the heat of Delhi. He's trying to get a ticket to go to America. He finally gets one on a cargo ship. He knows nobody. He just has an address of a Gopal Agaro. And he says almost a whole year in the winter, which was recorded in the history of New York, was the coldest winter ever experienced. He's walking around in Aladdin rubber shoes. You've seen those shoes? So then you see what a lover of God is prepared to do to please his Lord. When we study the Vaishnavas, then we can become attracted and see, do we want this type of consciousness? Is it attractive to us? That will help us when we face our own struggles. Is Krishna consciousness shaping me into a more humble, loving, and grateful being? Am I prepared to measure success by how much I'm able to serve and remember Krishna? Or by how many people are paying obeisances? How many gardens do I have now? What committee am I chairing? What position do I have? Sometimes out there in the world, nobody honors us for our hard work and the positions we have. They envy us like anything. Then we come to Krishna consciousness, and then we also get a chance to have some post where, now devotees will listen to me. They will honor me because I'm a devotee. So we have to check these things in ourselves and pray to the Supreme Lord to help us to see correctly where we are and inspire us to take the necessary steps to course correct, to reinforce good habits, to give up those things that are holding us back, so that our sincerity becomes more and more pure, purified and focused. Then Srila Prabhupada will definitely be pleased because he created this whole society for us to grow spiritually. So these are some words for all of us to consider, and so that we can get the gifts of Srila Prabhupada. Get ultimately the highest gift. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande. My apologies, we've gone over time. Do we have one or two comments, or questions, or complaints?
What can we do do when we feel fried out?
What can we do when we feel fried out? Very relevant. Sometimes we're fried every week or every weekend. And someone said the Sunday program is the Sunday problem. Well, being fried is part of the purification that we need. Now we'll just look at the example of the highest devotees, the gopis of Vrindavan. They are made, their very body, tabiya eva nija rupa kalabi. They are first of all expansions of Srimati Radharani, the topmost goddess of fortune, the pleasure potency of Krishna. Their form is completely transcendental. It is made out of love of God, love of Krishna. And they do everything for the pleasure of Krishna. They have no calculation for what they will get from Krishna. Of course, when we look at these interactions with our materially contaminated consciousness, we see even Krishna is known as supreme enjoyer. We envy that, supreme enjoyer. Because we think Krishna is just exploiting all these living beings. He's just sitting there and everyone's serving him and he's enjoying. They have no enjoyment propensity. They have a loving propensity. They can only give love. And Krishna's dedication is to give love to his parts and parcels. The gopis' existence is to give happiness to Krishna. They have no conception of taking anything from Krishna. So as we are approaching love, we have to understand that there is a price to pay for love. They had Krishna in the rasa dance, autumn nights, perfect moonshine, perfect breezes, and each gopi is feeling, billions of them, I have Krishna all to myself. And Krishna, detecting that there's some element of pride there, which is not needed in this recipe of love, he leaves. And as soon as he leaves their vision, they are plunged into terrible ocean of despair. Where is Krishna gone? How can they maintain their lives without Krishna? And then they are wandering everywhere, questioning the plants, the trees, the river. Have you seen Krishna? Where has he gone? Together, united to find the life of their life. And then finally, when Krishna sees that they have now been fried enough, that means they have now come to a deeper quality of selflessness, a deeper quality of wanting to please him. They are looking for him to please him. And when they serve Krishna, when they see Krishna pleased, they are pleased. And when he sees them pleased, he is more pleased. And eternally so, they are inspired in this loving relationship. When they find Krishna finally, they arrange a sitting place for him. They're fried, remember, but they're taking their own shawls and they're pulling down. The river Yamuna with the arms of her waves is putting up nice soft sands for an asana for Krishna. They are massaging his feet, his hands. They are inquiring about what happened. But still they want to know, why in the height of loving union would you just leave us like this? And they start to find out from him, what type of lover are you, Krishna? Some friends, they reciprocate with only those people who deal with them nicely. Others, when they don't see any gain, they are indifferent. They don't reciprocate. Others are spiritually satisfied that they see others will disturb my inner peace. So they are indifferent. Others, even those who are inimical to them, indifferent to them, still they try to reciprocate. Govinda, which lover are you? Which friend are you? And Krishna says to them, my dear gopis, please do not become upset with me. In my leaving you, I never stopped loving you. But I am that type of friend who simply wants to increase the love of his friend. And therefore, by leaving you, I was providing you a deeper experience of love. So, all this getting fried challenges, if we try to see it as Krishna is trying to get a deeper substance out of my heart, he's trying to get greater quality of love out of my heart, then we have some ability to tolerate. And if this is a bit too much and fluffy, call a friend, and vent. Hey, I'm fried again, And can we get together to read Krishna book? Can we get together to chant Hare Krishna? So like that, we either take shelter of the philosophy. If we cannot, we have to open our hearts and share what's going on. And then a devotee who's not directly involved, they may see the situation differently and they may help to pacify us, help us to see it in a different way. Otherwise, we are paying the price for getting love. Yo, sorry, do this. It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, what makes ISKCON objectively unique and special, especially considering that other spiritual paths, other religions also have a figurehead founding acharya. They may have their own shastras, their own philosophies, their own practices. So what makes ISKCON special?
Number one, ISKCON is called International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So if you can find Krishna described anywhere else and focus on, this is the unique feature of this movement, that it is describing the Supreme Personality of Godhead completely, more completely, most completely. And then further on, it is describing the personality of Godhead who is desiring to understand love of himself. What is it that those who love me experience? What qualities in me attract those who love me? There we get God who is chasing after himself. The conception of Krishna consciousness is allowing us to understand that God can be defeated by our devotion, that he becomes devoted to his devotees, that we can have the Lord as our beloved friend, our master. We can be in a mood of parent to the Lord. And we can also get a kiss from his reddish bimba lips. So this conception of the Supreme, who is feared by fear personified, but who exhibits himself fear, others think is blasphemous. If the Supreme Being is also understood as the supreme, most violent person, can you reconcile God and violence? most conceptions cannot. They try to shield. No. God cannot cause people to be killed. Read Bhagavad Gita, rascal. People are butchered. Krishna is driving the chariot of Arjuna. You won't even fight. So, plus, you have the holy name of Krishna, where the Supreme Personality of Godhead is available 24/7 to the conditioned soul. Anyone with whatever qualification can chant Krishna's name. Shishigornitai ki. And no movement is able to cue you for time by opening the altar. Shila Prabhupada ki. Gaur Premanandi.